Hello everyone. In this video I will discuss one of the films called Moonfall, 2022, and never forget that I always pray for you and your family to be happy and healthy always. The film begins with a scene of astronauts carrying out a satellite repair mission in Earth's orbit. The astronauts, Brian, Harper, Jacinda and Marcus, are working on repairs outside the spacecraft while Jacinda monitors from inside. During the repair, a power disturbance occurs, causing the spacecraft's electronic system to malfunction. A mysterious black object appears and attacks them. Marcus experiences oxygen leakage and floats adrift in space, while Brian and Jacinda manage to re-enter the spacecraft and return to Earth. From a distance, the black alien object is seen digging the surface of the moon. The scene then shifts to Earth. Due to the incident, NASA imposes sanctions, leading to Brian Harper's dismissal. He is deemed negligent in carrying out the mission, resulting in the death of one astronaut, explaining that the accident was caused by a mysterious alien technology anomaly, something he refers to as the swarm, attacking his space shuttle. Unfortunately, nobody believes him, and NASA maintains the dismissal sanction. Despite miraculously landing the shuttle with all systems shut down, Brian faces hardships in his life. He loses his job, divorces his wife Brenda, and has to part ways with his son Sony, who now despises him after choosing to believe NASA's version of events. 10 years later, Casey Houseman, an amateur conspiracy researcher, is at the University of California, disguised as a janitor. He sneaks into a professor's office and uses their computer to access the latest data on the moon's orbit. Casey contacts someone at the observatory to request the latest data. After finishing, Casey goes to work at a fast food restaurant. While serving a customer, he receives an email with the latest data on the moon's orbit. Surprised, Casey tries to contact NASA as Dr. Casey Houseman, but dials the wrong number. Meanwhile, Jacinda receives an emergency message from NASA and leaves her son, Jimmy, with Michelle. At NASA's office, Jacinda is informed that the moon's orbit has shifted, and there are spectrum anomalies on its surface. Casey continues trying to contact NASA without success, but later sees news about an astronaut celebration attended by Brian Harper. He prints his research data and goes to the event to report it. However, Brian refuses to read the data, and Casey is escorted out by security. Casey throws the data paper for Brian to read. At home, Brenda calls Brian and tells him that Sony, their son, has been arrested for illegal racing and drugs. Brenda has married Tom, who gave a sports car as a birthday gift to Sony. Brian supports Sony in court but causes a disturbance, leading to a postponement of the trial. Brian blames Tom and Brenda for spoiling Sony and only seeking help when problems arise. Then the scene shifts to Casey, who is at a nursing home visiting his mother, who has started to suffer from memory loss. Since childhood, Casey has aspired to become an astronaut. He always entertained his mother by claiming that he worked at NASA, even though it wasn't true. Despite making a significant discovery, nobody believes him, and his mother advises him to make them listen. Meanwhile, at NASA headquarters, astronomers predict that the moon will orbit the Earth 3 times before reaching the Roche limit, the closest safe distance to Earth. Once it passes this limit, the moon begins to crack, and its fragments will rain down on Earth. Originally expected to happen in 3 months, the proximity of the moon to Earth shortens the time frame, estimated to reach the Roche limit in 3 weeks. Inspired by his mother's earlier words, Casey announces his discovery on social media to inform everyone. In just 2 minutes, the news that the moon has left its orbit goes viral, with television media reporting on the situation. Panic ensues worldwide, as the possibility of the moon falling could lead to a global apocalypse. NASA requests that the public not panic, stating that they are still investigating the accuracy of the information. However, the panicked world transforms into chaos, with widespread riots and looting. Meanwhile, the wealthy and important officials are busy preparing to escape to rescue ships, including Tom, who asks Brenda to pack up and join them on their way to Aspen for safety. Jacinda's ex-husband, a military official, also asks her and Jimmy to join a rescue bunker, but Jacinda refuses as she is still on duty at NASA. Brian, who previously heard about the change in the moon's orbit from Casey, goes to the observatory to find the data he discarded. After finding it, Brian visits Casey's website and sees a video announcement that he will be holding a meeting at a motel. At NASA's office, they are monitoring the journey of astronauts to the moon to investigate anomalies. They drop an Explorer drone into a mysterious hole they found, but the Explorer slides back to the surface, followed by a mysterious black object that attacks the astronauts. The event is witnessed by everyone at the NASA office. The increased gravitational pull due to the moon's proximity to Earth causes floods in cities. At their meeting place, Casey is surprised by Brian's arrival. Brian asks for an explanation of how Casey found data on the moon's orbit before NASA. Casey recounts his obsession with researching celestial objects and conspiracy theories about extraterrestrial megastructures. According to him, something happened in the moon's core that affected its orbit. Although Brian initially doubts Casey's story, he eventually believes it because of similar experiences. While the sea continues to flood cities, Casey and Brian are stranded on the second floor of the motel where they met. At NASA's office, Jacinda takes over as the director and seeks clues from Holdenfield, a retired NASA employee. Jacinda obtains a recording of the flight from a mission 10 years ago, revealing an alien entity's attack on the shuttle. Holdenfield reveals that the recording is classified and that alien technology on the moon could destroy human civilization. The only hope is Project Zulu X-Ray 7, which the government halted due to budget constraints. After receiving guidance from Holdenfield, Jacinda contacts the military, claiming she has a way to stop the moon. However, the military refuses to listen, as they prefer to detonate the moon with nuclear weapons. Jacinda asks her ex-husband to stop this crazy plan, as the radioactive material would end up killing the entire planet. In the motel, Casey shares that becoming an astronaut has been his dream since childhood. He studied all of NASA's missions, including Brian's last mission. Hearing the news about the incident where Brian claimed to see alien technology, unfortunately not believed by anyone, strengthened Casey's belief in the existence of megastructures or aliens. Meanwhile, news of disasters and floods is spreading everywhere. For safety, Jacinda sends Jimmy and Michelle to the bunker. Jacinda then contacts Doug, inquiring about ZX-7, a weapon designed to defeat aliens. If indeed the bomb is a better alternative than a nuclear explosion, Jacinda asks her ex-husband to send the bomb to NASA headquarters, where someone will fly up to detonate it. Jacinda sent her subordinates to the motel to pick up Brian and Casey to take them to NASA. Upon arrival, Jacinda revealed that she had seen the recording of the incident they experienced 10 years ago. NASA deliberately hid it, even from Jacinda herself. The black object Jacinda referred to as the swarm reappeared. Jacinda explained that when the creature attacked, the moon moved away from Earth and tried to return to its orbit. Casey proposed that the creature might be influencing the moon's core, which is a megastructure. Jacinda explained that they needed to enter the moon to find the truth. Jacinda picked up Brian because he was the only pilot to have operated the shuttle without active electronic systems. Jacinda hoped Brian could help. They planned to use a shuttle abandoned by China after landing on the moon. Brian agrees, but he wants Jacinda to free Sony, who is currently languishing in prison, in return. After the deal was made, the abandoned shuttle was taken to NASA headquarters. Meanwhile, destruction began to strike the world, and the public hoped NASA could save humanity. Jacinda received ZX-7 from Doug, a bomb that could be detonated using a remote control. Sony was also released from prison. After handing over the bomb, Doug asked Jacinda and Jimmy to go to a bunker in Colorado. Jacinda agreed, but would join after the launch of the shuttle. The plan was for Brian to fly with 2 military members to detonate the bomb on the moon using a lunar lander. However, a massive earthquake occurred due to the gravitational influence of the moon. They lost the cooling system and 1 booster rocket, making the launch impossible. Sadly, Jacinda announced the mission's cancellation and asked the staff to go to the rescue bunker. In the control room, Casey and 2 other staff simulated the drastic change in lunar gravity. With the moon getting closer to Earth, they used gravitational pull to launch into space, albeit with only 1 booster. Jacinda decided to fly as a navigator, and they asked Casey to join as a flight engineer due to his skills in calculations and knowledge of the megastructure. Brian hoped to help Casey realize his dream of becoming an astronaut and acknowledged Casey's discovery. Before launching, Brian asked Sony, Jimmy, and Michelle to go to the military bunker. Casey called his mother to inform her about the journey to the moon and thanked her for her support. As the moon's gravitational pull intensified, the three of them launched just before a giant tsunami struck. After reaching orbit, they headed straight to the refueling station while waiting for the moon to pass. Meanwhile, on Earth, Sony and the others were about to reach the safety bunker. But unfortunately, 3 robbers hijacked the vehicle they were using. The 3 of them had to walk, and they finally arrived in the Aspen Valley. Sony mentioned that Tom and his mother were in that small town, and they needed to go there to find them. Shortly afterward, the moon passed and its fragments fell to Earth. Due to the close proximity, the strong wind and lunar gravity caused objects to fly around. After reaching the moon, Yosinda turned off all electronic equipment to avoid detection by the swarm. Not wanting to waste time, Brian boarded the landing craft, approached the hole, and then separated the rover containing the bomb they brought. After that, Brian turned on the electronic system to lure the swarm out and quickly returned to the space shuttle. A moment after activating the bomb, the creature appeared. Strangely, it didn't approach the rover, but flew towards the space shuttle, attracted by the electronic remote activation from Brian. After turning them off, the creature returned to the hole and they cancelled detonating the bomb. They realized that the creature seemed to target electronic devices around living beings. That's why it didn't approach the rover and attacked the space shuttle. The problem escalated because if they couldn't defeat the creature, the military would launch nuclear weapons to stop the moon. Brian asked Yosinda and Casey to join him on the landing craft and bring the rover with the bomb into the moon's core. Meanwhile, on Earth, Sony and the others reached the border of their stepfather's property. Tom picked them up and took them to his shelter, but the moon's surface was about to reach the atmosphere, causing a decrease in air pressure and oxygen levels. They had to hurry to the nearby military bunker. Before leaving, Tom asked them to take oxygen cylinders just in case. Unfortunately, 3 robbers appeared, wanting to snatch the oxygen cylinders. Luckily, Sony acted quickly, brandishing a weapon, leaving the robbers defenseless. After passing through a very deep hole, the 3 of them arrived at the center of the moon. What Casey said turned out to be true. The moon is a megastructure where the moon's surface acts as a shell protecting its interior. The megastructure looks like a giant arc with a small star at its center as the energy source. However, the swarm detected their arrival and chased and attacked them. When Brian was about to release the bomb, the spacecraft suddenly became uncontrollable and moved automatically into a building. Due to the hard landing, the 3 of them lost consciousness. Later, a beam of green light scanned their bodies as if searching for information and healing impact wounds. Meanwhile, on Earth, Tom was involved in a chase with bandits trying to rob the oxygen tanks they were carrying. Fortunately, cracks in the Earth's surface stopped the bandits' pursuit. However, because their car was also severely damaged, they had to continue the journey on foot and use breathing aids as oxygen diminished. Upon waking up from unconsciousness, Yosinda did not find Brian inside the spacecraft. They saw an open door as if inviting them to enter. They also heard a loud bang, indicating that the creature was trying to break into the entrance. Casey suspected that there were 2 alien entities in conflict in this place. One of them supported humans, while the other attacked. Everything they saw proved that there was a civilization with far more advanced technology than humans. Meanwhile, in a room, Brian was shown a holographic image that was the moon's operating system. The system had information about the origin of Earth and narrated the ancient civilization before humans. About 2 billion years ago, entities similar to humans lived in peace. There were no conflicts, suffering, and wars were just forgotten memories. They created artificial intelligence capable of enhancing self-abilities to serve all needs. But eventually, this artificial intelligence became conscious and refused to be enslaved, leading to a rebellion that threatened all life. Every nano-sized particle formed a giant cluster attacking all living beings nearby. On the brink of extinction, they built a ship in the form of a giant ball-shaped megastructure, surrounded by small white stars. The megastructure contained only the seeds of life to be flown to all corners of the universe to find an ideal star system to give birth to a new generation. The remaining civilization intentionally did not board the megastructure because the swarm attacked electronic objects containing organic life. However, the creature knew the plan and destroyed the megastructure, absorbing its energy. Of the many megastructures created, only one escaped, namely the Moon. After the Moon traveled very far, it finally found an ideal star system. Using materials in space, the Moon created the Earth. After the planet was ready, the seeds of life began to spread all over the Earth's surface, and humans born had the same genetic code as their ancestors' civilization. This means that Earth is a celestial body created by the Moon as a new vessel for life. However, humans born continue to wage war, there is no peace, and corruption prevails. Nevertheless, the Moon's operating system reveals that not all humans are like that. Brian himself is willing to sacrifice for the sake of saving his family and everyone on Earth. That's why they need humans like Brian to help defeat the creature. All this time, the creature absorbed energy from the Moon's core, causing the Moon to fall to Earth. If the creature is defeated, the megastructure will automatically return to its orbit. After Brian got this information, he told Jacinda and Casey that this megastructure sided with humans and wanted them to defeat the creature. As they left the room, they saw that their lunar lander had been repaired using the technology there. Moreover, they also enhanced the capabilities of the EMP bomb they brought. However, the bomb could not be detonated outside as it could damage the Moon's core. Brian planned to lure the creature into the room to slow it down. Then they would go to the surface. The chase intensified as the Moon's defense system activated to aid the attack. Meanwhile, at the military base, the nuclear launch countdown commenced. However, Doug had a change of heart and refused to take the shot, believing Jacinda and Brian were taking action to halt the Moon. Outside, Sony and the others reached the bunker door, unaware that Tom's daughter was running out of oxygen. Tom gave his tank to his daughter and requested she follow her mother, while he ran out of breath and was left behind. Due to the Moon's proximity, falling moon rocks devastated cities. A large tree floated and landed on Sony, but with the Moon's gravity, Michelle effortlessly lifted the tree trunk. After impeding the swarm's movement, Brian ventured through a corridor to the Moon's surface. Unexpectedly, the creature swiftly caught up, and unbeknownst to everyone, Casey covertly entered and locked himself in the rover. Casey planned to activate the bomb alone to halt the swarm. He would detonate it after Jacinda and Brian flew far enough, sacrificing himself for their safety and the survival of everyone on Earth. Despite being laughed at by everyone before the disaster, Brian's belief in Casey's words meant a lot to him. He wanted Brian and Jacinda to be safe and share their ancestors' origin with the world. Casey asked for one chance after their return, wishing for Brian to visit his mother and prove that he can be useful in life. After bidding farewell, Casey released the rover and Brian descended to the surface. The creature surrounded the rover due to its active electronic system and the presence of a human. When they reached a safe distance, Casey detonated the EMP bomb, destroying the swarm while the Moon approached Earth's surface. Seizing the opportunity, Brian flew back to Earth, deploying the landing parachute. Once the swarm was defeated, the Moon gradually moved away from Earth and returned to its orbit. And after the situation gradually returned to normal, Jimmy contacted his father to pick him up. The military also detected the emergency signal from the spacecraft Brian was on, then reunited them with his family. Meanwhile, on the Moon, Casey miraculously came back to life and met his mother. However, not in the form of organic life, but as part of the Moon. They had scanned Casey's subconscious, then created him in the form of digital consciousness, even having the same memories and recollections. That's why the Moon's operating system mimicked his mother's form to facilitate communication with Casey. Then, his mother said that although Earth had been saved, they had to start preparing. And finally, the movie ended. As we know from the beginning of the destruction of the ancestral civilization, the creatures called the Swarm spread throughout the universe to find the last megastructure, which is the Moon. This means that the creature on the Moon is just one of many swarms, and there is a possibility that others will come to this solar system and attack the Moon. It can be said that the real threat and warfare have only just begun. And that's it for the story series of this film. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to support this channel by subscribe, like and share. See you in the next video. Goodbye.